There's so much to know, so many people to meet, so much adventure awaits. What are you waiting for? Hey y'all, I'm Jaimee Dorris, MS Congeniality. Join me each week as we make connections, face fears, and share love, all while being totally fabulous. There's no topic off limits, no story too bold. Together, we'll try it all. Prepare to be surprised with me, Jaimee Dorris. I am MS Congeniality. Hello and welcome to MS Congeniality. I'm your host, Jaimee Dorris, and today, y'all, we are going oyster farming. We're out here on the beautiful Gulf of Mexico in Biloxi, and our special guest is Anita Arguelles. She and her husband, they own the French Hermit Oyster Company over here in Biloxi, and they are part of a recent initiative to actually farm oysters in the Mississippi Sound. I know it sounds kind of funny, right? Because we have a lot of natural oysters, but our natural oysters are diminishing. So she is making it her job to plant them one at a time so that we have plenty to eat. So on today's show, we take a trip out to the French Hermit Oyster Farm off Deer Island in coastal Mississippi. There we learn all about the process of growing these delicious little creatures. After that, you guessed it, we're shucking them to see what's inside and make sure you know the most fabulous way to enjoy oysters yourself and get all of the health benefits.
You know, we're happy oyster farmers.
Y'all, 2020 is the year of Embrace the Gulf. It's a regional campaign promoting the community, tourism, education, economy, and the environment of the Gulf of Mexico and all of the states that border it. So here on the show, we're going to be doing some segments that are all about embracing the Gulf. And today, it's all about oysters. But first, a word from our sponsors. We are over here about to get this adventure underway. We are going to be riding out and picking oysters with the French Hermit Oyster Company out here in Biloxi, Mississippi with Anita Arguelles. She's one of the owners.
That's
Anita,
right.
thank you for being on my show.
You're welcome.
Tell us what we're going to be doing today.
So today we're going to get on the boat here in the Biloxi Small Craft Harbor, and we're going to go out to the oyster farm, which is south of Deer Island. And we're going to pull up some oysters, take a look at them, talk about off-bottom oyster aquaculture here in Mississippi.
I'm so excited. You just have no idea. Look, I even got a little fascinator with pearls on.
Oh, well, we won't find any pearls, but I'm glad you brought your own.
All right, let's get started. So why in the world do you farm oysters?
Well, we think that oysters are a renewable resource, and there are not enough oysters for people to eat. So off-bottom oyster aquaculture is new to Mississippi. It's really exciting. These oysters are reserve oysters, so they travel all over the country before they get snacked on. And we just like what we're doing with the environment and the Mississippi economy.
And you know what's interesting, because you said it's not new, it is new to be farming oysters, because you know here in coastal Mississippi, oysters can be huge naturally.
That's right.
So what's going on with that? Is there a problem with the oysters right now?
So the oysters are been subjected to overharvest. They've also been subjected to poor water quality. You know, they can't get up like other species and just kind of move away when the when the water quality gets bad. They stay where they are. They plant themselves down there. So so all of the wild oysters are under pressure, and therefore there are fewer of them. But just as many people like to eat oysters, or maybe even more.
I love oysters. Have you always loved oysters?
No, I did not love oysters. So I'm a convert. Michael, my husband, who is the farmer with me, he kind of leads us here at French Hermit. He is an oyster evangelist, so when I met him, he started telling me how great oysters are. And I was up from Memphis, and where it was pretty natural, you didn't run across an oyster very often. But he would bring them up from the coast to Memphis and share them with friends, and he introduced me to oysters, and I liked them. I liked them quite a bit, but I wouldn't say I liked them enough to be a farmer. But once we started eating these farm oysters, it's a different ball game.
Really?
Yes.
Well, this is the beginning of the oyster farms right here.
That's
this
an
is
oyster farm?
Yeah, see those floats right there? That's the farms. This is a training area, but those are farms of students that are working their oysters. And USM also has oysters out here for research.
How interesting. I've never seen this before.
Something new!
That's right. Okay, how many pearls do you have? Because when I think of oysters, you know, I got pearls. Like, I wore every single pearl that I have. These are my grandmother's pearl earrings.
That's right.
And they're real pearls. So how many pearls do you own?
I own several pearls, but none from my oyster farm. We don't get pearls from the oysters in these parts. And even if we do, you know, it's kind of like those little bitty pearls you get out of Louisiana oysters, the seed pearls.
So they're like really, really small.
They're teeny tiny, but we don't even get those here because our oysters aren't in the sediment on the bottom where this gets into the oyster and it makes the pearl. So it's less likely that you would have a wild pearl with off-bottom oyster aquaculture. It could happen, but pearls are also grown. So they take part of the mantle of an oyster in another country in Asia and they implant something that aggravates that oyster, and that's why it makes that pearl. You knew that.
No, I didn't. This girl, she knows everything about everything, I swear.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Well, thank you.
Yes, I heard you know how to bake bread.
I do. I know how to bake bread. I know how to make pies.
And you know how to grow oysters.
I know how to grow oysters.
Okay.
That's right.
All right, you guys. Well, on the other side of this break, we're going to be pulling up to their farm right outside of Deer Island, and we're going to be picking the oysters up. I've never done this before. First time ever. I don't even know what the process is going to look like. So
Let me look at your hands. Oh, you're too pretty to be an oyster farmer.
all right, you guys, stay with us. Do you like raw oysters?
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. 100% negative.
Why not?
That's a no-brainer. It tastes like terrible.
Not really. I eat them, but I don't. That's not my favorite.
No.
Hell no.
Gosh.
You're supposed to cuss. You can't. Go ahead.
I do. I do like it. Charbroilled's good too, but I'll do raw. They're cheaper.
Stay tuned for more MS Congeniality. All right, you guys, and we are back. I'm just brushing my hair out, you know, trying to look all fabulous like Debbie over here, you know. Anyways, if you're just now joining us, we are looking for oysters out here in the Gulf of Mexico. We are embracing the Gulf 2020.
That's right.
And we're here with Anita Arguelles and Debbie Fountain. These are both fabulous oyster farming women. We're not going to talk about the men behind us right now. These are the powerful oyster women. So we are out here at your oyster farm out in the Gulf.
That's right.
What are we doing now?
So we've pulled up one of our cages and we've taken one of the sacks out of the cage. These oysters go in the cage, they live there, they just hang out, they roll around, drink some water, eat some food.
And they're not on the ground.
That's
or
right.
in
No. That's right.
They're floating in the bags.
floating in a bag.
And this is where the food is. So oysters like phytoplankton. The sun comes down, phytoplankton grows, and the oysters drink the water with the phytoplankton.
All right, I gotta stick my, okay. Brush down, I gotta get in here. So can I pull this out? How heavy?
With your manicure, are you kidding? No.
It's got barnacles on it.
I can do that. If you can do it, Debbie, I can do it.
Let's pull this one out over here. It's
right.
not.
It's not as barnacles.
Do you hold it, bud? Oh my God, that's heavy. Oh shoot.
Oysters are like little rocks,
Wow, that's heavy.
and
Oh,
they're
you don't have a manicure, do you?
they're smelly.
It
They're
doesn't
smelly. It doesn't mean we haven't had them, but we don't have them anymore.
Oh wow. Okay, so then you pour it out here, and then what happens now?
So they wash them. We kind of wash them down and take a look at them. And if we were harvesting, we'd be putting them in bags and filling orders for restaurants. Today we're just out looking at them, kind of grading them, checking them out.
Look at that.
Look at all these oysters.
And they're all about the same size.
That's right. That's because they started out about the same size. So they're all very uniform. But what we're looking for, what restaurateurs are looking for, are flat tops and cupped bottoms.
Flat tops.
That's right.
And
The
cup
reverse-
bottoms.
We don't, women wouldn't be flat tops and cup bottoms, but oysters, flat tops and cup bottoms. And so a nice oyster with a cup on it. Flat top, you take the top off when you shuck it, and then you serve the opened oyster on a bed of rock salt or ice. And usually these are for the raw shucked market.
Gotcha, gotcha. So how many oyster farm beds, what do you call them?
We call it oyster farms.
How many of these things do you have?
So these off-bottom cages, we have 18 off-bottom cages set out here right now.
And that's how many of oysters?
So it depends on the size of oyster. One of our cages is holding 100,000 oysters, and they're just all little bitty baby oysters. But then these 100,000. So altogether, Debbie's farm, our farm, all the other farmers, we have over 1 million oysters out here growing.
Wow. Debbie, you must eat oysters every single day of like your life.
No, that's our money.
Right. We don't eat that. We sell it.
So how much bigger are these going to get?
So that we like to sell them between 2 3/4 to 3 inches in the market. That's pretty much the market that we're after. That's what our shuckers are looking for in these reserve grown aquaculture oysters.
So how much bigger does this one need to be?
About another inch.
Yeah.
Another inch. You heard that. Just
So
one more little inch.
That's
You ladies are fun. What do y'all do when you're not oystering?
right. I work at the University of Southern Miss, and Debbie is.
I work as a nurse.
Yeah. So we have other jobs.
So oystering isn't your main gig?
No, we're still pouring money in it, and it isn't making enough money so that we can quit our fancy jobs and do this. But maybe
Right
one
now,
day.
Would you?
Yeah.
You would quit being a nurse and do this full time?
Yes. Because I love being out on the water. Wow. And I love taking care of my boo-boos.
Your boo-boo. These are our boo-boos.
So everyone has a name. Debbie names them all.
No.
One, boo-boo two.
Boo-boo million six.
And so when you order oysters at the store, you got to go, I'm looking for boo-boo 1,
That's
boo-boo 2,
right.
boo-boo 3.
That's right.
Well, speaking of that, after the break, we're going to learn how to get into these and check a little bit more about, the part where it actually goes into your belly. So we're going to talk about that. Stay tuned for more MS Congeniality.
It's your day here at Michael Vincent Salon. Whether you come in for a cut and color or a manicure and massage, we want you to feel relaxed. We are trendy, light, friendly, and downtown. Our clients become our friends. Come as you are, leave as a star. Michael Vincent Salon, Highway 49, downtown Gulfport.
I don't know about you, but I just love oysters, and I eat them any way possible. I don't care if they're fried, smoked, Rockefellered, raw. And around here on the Gulf Coast, eating them raw is a tradition. And I want to have the man himself show you exactly how to do that. Mike, this is Anita's husband. He's the other half of this whole French Hermit Oyster thing. How about raw? What is the absolute best way to eat a raw oyster?
If you're a novice, you might want it on a cracker with some sauce. But the real oyster eaters, they like to eat at least one, without any sauce. That way they could tell how salty it is and how meaty it is, and it's not interfered by other sauces.
Okay, you got one?
Yeah,
All right, come on, Mike. Come on, break out the goods, Mike. Break out the goods. So you're supposed to suck on it, right?
I always tell people if you're eating oysters, and you can put the shell on your lip and turn it up, but you're going to have stuff drip down your thing. So it's best if you come from the top, give it a little kiss, suck it right off the shell.
Oh, you made that look so good.
Oh, he gave it a little kiss. Do you suck on it or do you chew it?
I chew it.
You do chew it.
I
Do you
don't.
chew-
I just take it.
You don't swallow
Flavor
it.
it. I do. I swallow it whole. It's flavor, and then whoop, just down the throat.
But I have to say, these oysters are meaty. So you don't feel like you're chewing into gelatin and it's growing. It's like a little chunk of meat. You just chew it and swallow.
Interesting.
Sea meat.
Okay. All right. I want to learn
meat.
Sea meat.
sea meat. I want to learn how do you shuck this thing? I want to learn how to shuck it. Okay, and then I just.
Yeah, that's perfect. Feel until you feel like it's going. Yeah, you see it watering. See the water.
Oh my gosh! I've never done this before.
That was the perfect spot. These oysters are easy to open.
And then you just open it?
And you want to try and cut the eye loose before you open it because
What's the eye again?
the eye is a muscle and it's attached to both halves, both shells. So
like that?
You kind of scrape it from the top.
Oh, scrape it.
Yeah.
You know, like you're cleaning
you
the
haven't
oven.
lived until you have shucked an oyster, you guys. Look at that. All right.
Perfect.
You like it?
I love it.
I did it!
You did.
They were all worried about me. I don't know what you're thinking about.
You know what? It makes
What?
me feel like I'm a good teacher.
Look what I found, you guys. There's a little pearl in there. Anita, look what I found. It's a pearl. Look.
Oh, look at that. From the Dollar General store, I think.
So I have to ask you, ladies, everyone thinks of oysters as being an aphrodisiac. Is it true? I'm going to ask you, Debbie. Is it true?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, because, you know, when you're healthy and you have a lot of energy, then, you know, you can do the hoochie more.
What does it have to do with oysters?
So oysters are high in zinc and some other nutrients, and those actually are really good for your body. So your brain gets a lot of from an oyster. I mean, this is science, people. So this really is true. There are doctors from the Columbia University that are recommending eating raw oysters to their patients that might be sad because oysters make you happy.
Really?
They do.
Really? So, Mike, is it really an aphrodisiac?
I think it is.
You do? So he's going to admit to that too.
For men and women.
Woo! What other health benefits for
So,
oysters?
you know, we're happy oyster farmers.
Are you trying to say other people should be happy oyster farmers? Or at least happy oyster eaters?
Happy oyster eater.
There you go.
Of course, of course. Speaking of aphrodisiacs, coming up after the break, we're going to be checking out an old female health tradition called V-steam that's making its new comeback here on the coast. Stay with us. And how do you eat it? Do you like kiss it and suck on it?
No, she didn't. No, she didn't. Oh God, no, I just eat it normal.
All right, so
normal.
this is even better.
Oh,
Are oysters
God.
an aphrodisiac?
I've heard that before. I've heard that.
I don't know because I don't eat them, but I'm pretty sure they are because my husband eats them.
I'm pretty much everything's aphrodisiac to me, so.
I guess. I'm not going to elaborate on that.
Stay tuned for more MS Congeniality.
Look like $1 million without spending it. Here at Back on the Rack, we sell only the brands that you trust. Jade, Carly, Chanel, Dolce & Gabbana, Tibby, Kate Spade, Louis Vuitton, and more. Back on the Rack, upscale resale. We buy and sell across the U.S., and you can shop right on Facebook. It's luxury consignment for the stylish woman.
Woo, you guys, that boat ride took a licking on my poor little fascinator there. I am so excited about this segment we have going on here. We are going to be doing this kind of new agey thing that I think women have actually been doing for a very long time, but it's kind of popular these days. It's called vaginal steaming, and I have my friend, my dear friend, you just hanging out in my bedroom. Y'all, do you remember Sheena Miles? She was the season 1 Personality All-Star Award winner.
Yes, she was.
And she does V-steams for a living.
Yes. So today, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you your goddess gown.
Okay.
And I have brought the herbs and the pot, and you're going to V-steam, and we'll talk more about exactly what bee steaming is and why it's so important.
All right, so you're gonna be putting herbs in a pot, and how is this gonna work?
I have chamomile, I have lavender, I have rose, I have rosemary, I have wild yam, and mugwort. And it's a cleansing and disinfecting type of thing. Not to say you're infected, girl.
And I'm gonna sit on this thing right here?
You're gonna sit on the pot and it's gonna steam. You're gonna hear it boil, it's gonna be hot, and then it'll be cool to give you a little relief, and then it'll be hot again, and then it's gonna be cool to give you relief.
Oh my God, I cannot wait to do this. I know a lot of you ladies are curious about bee steaming, so let me get changed.
Yes.
And I'll be right back.
Put on your gown, goddess.
All right, I'm back.
All righty, ma'am. Okay, we're gonna put your herbs in.
Ooh.
All right, smell that.
Why'd you pick these herbs?
These herbs are cleansing herbs. These herbs are disinfecting herbs. Everything that's in here, you probably cook with except for the roses themselves. So we'll put this in here, the water's gonna boil, and then I will put you on the throne, milady.
Oh my goodness. Is it gonna hurt?
No, it's just gonna be a little hot. It's just a little hot. There's nothing wrong with being a hot young thing.
Oh, is that why I have this tent?
That's exactly why you have that tent on, my darling.
How do you want me to get on this
Okay,
thing?
so I want you to go to the front.
The front, okay.
Yes. Let's make sure your seat doesn't slide. That's
All
not
right.
fun. All right, lift the back
Lift my
and
butt.
drape.
Drape, like this.
Ooh, it's the goodies.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
You
Oh.
sit your flower over the garden, darling.
Oh, this is a hole.
Yeah, you can actually twerk till your water boils.
I can twerk.
Till your water boils, till your water boils. And then your face is gonna change,
Okay.
because it's gonna get hot.
I've read
Listen.
that this does a lot of things good for
It
you.
does. If you have PCOS, fibroids, ovarian cysts, prolapsed uterus, endometriosis, if you haven't had a cycle in a long time, all of that, what's happening is the heat is depleting the tissue that has been sitting there. And that's all a lot of times is what's left, because of course the tissue is what gives us the cradle for the babies. It's depleting that tissue and warming it so that it falls out of your body, and it makes the vaginal canal smaller and smaller, which means that you end up lighter, tighter, and better of a rider.
It's boiling up. It's starting to feel really hot. Oh, it's like these waves where all of a sudden I feel like I need to lift off of this thing and get away from it. Oh.
That's a blow pop.
How long am I supposed to be on this thing for?
About 30 minutes. You'll go through about 4 to 5 cycles of heat, and then you shall be done.
And then I will feel what afterwards?
You shall rise like a phoenix and be the queen that you are. And with your extra lubrications, put it on him, girl. Sweating. Everything is sweating at this point.
Everything is relaxed.
Everything is relaxed. You're a queen.
Oh, it's queenly, all right.
Imagine your crown is atop your head, and you're a queen. Yes. Stare off into Shakespearean space and time.
Ladies, if you have never done a bee steam, you do not know what you are missing. Yeah.
All righty, ma'am. It's time for you to come off of the throne. Stand straight up for me.
Okay.
Walk forward.
Walk forward.
There you go. Whoop. There you go, queen. Now.
Wow, that is so weird. Yeah.
How do you feel?
I feel sweaty. I feel like I got a sauna treatment and girlfriend, it's all good.
So everything's lubed.
Oh, it's all good. Thank you so much
You
for
are very
doing this
welcome. You're very
and
welcome.
giving everybody an idea of what this is like so that, you know, kind of demystify that process.
Oh, yes. It's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of.
And this girl, if you don't know her, you need to know her. Sheena Miles.
Honey, we have a good time. We have a great time.
It's always a great time with her. Well, next on the show, you guys, we're going to be doing our Ask Jaimee segment. We're going to be helping a viewer who's having a problem helping her friend. Stay with us.
Stay tuned for more MS Congeniality.
Let's talk about something that women don't want to talk about, and that is incontinence. We at the Women's Clinic have a simple procedure that we can do to take care of that. We use the Fotona laser. It's a simple procedure. You have tightening, you have enhanced lubrication. Sex isn't painful anymore. and you don't have that leakage that you deal with on a daily basis. Come see us at the Women's Clinic in Gulfport. We're right by Gulfport Memorial Hospital.
If you are just now joining us, I just had a V-steam and I am feeling wonderful. So I'm going to do my Ask Jaimee segment right here in this goddess robe. So what are you dying to know but not sure who to ask? Well, me, of course. In today's Ask Jaimee segment, I am taking a question from a viewer in New Mexico. Her name is Bethany, and the question's about setting boundaries and communicating expectations when they're trying to help a friend. So Bethany writes, Jaimee, I've got a problem. I always want to help people and I end up being burned. Just recently, I let my friend stay at my rental house for free because she needed to get out of a bad marriage. I thought it was obvious that she'd be using the house alone, but yesterday I walked in and found her shacked up with her husband and learned he'd been staying there all along. I'm mad, I'm hurt, annoyed, feel like, man, what I thought would help her is actually not helping her at all. What should I do? Bethany, you got yourself a problem. The first thing you need to do is tell the girl, give her a 30-day notice, tell her you love her, you messed up, and she needs to go ahead and move on. Hopefully you can still be friends. But I have 2 tips for you of not doing this again. And the 2 tips are, first, it's about setting boundaries, and that is understanding that other people's problems are not your problems. You can be a friend to somebody by just listening to their problem, being an ear, giving them ideas, being there for them to cry on your shoulder, but you don't necessarily have to take on their burdens yourself. For the most part, when people are really ready to make the next step, whether it be in a relationship or with weight or with a job, they're going to do it for themselves. So just be a friend. That's the first thing. Set boundaries with yourself, that it's not always your job to fix everybody's problem. That's the first thing. The second thing is that when you are in a situation where somebody has asked you explicitly for maybe a single favor when they're trying to make a transition, that you need to make sure you communicate your expectations of them and their expectations of you. So in this situation, I'm dying to know, did you have it written how long she could stay at your house for free? Did you have it written what she was responsible for paying for and not? Did you have it written who she could allow in the house and who not? Because if not, then you just expected her to act in the way you were expecting, and chances are the reason she's in the situation she's in is because she doesn't think like you. So I hope I've answered your question, Bethany. Good luck with this friend. I know it's not easy setting boundaries, but it is so important for your own mental health so that you can be a fabulous goddess yourself. If you have a question for your girl, Miss Congeniality, don't hesitate to ask. Just log on to my website, misscon.tv, and select the VIP page. There, you can ask your question and sign up for my weekly newsletters. I'll do my very best to answer you either on an email or right here on camera. Well, folks, that's all the time we have left for today. I hope you enjoyed this Oyster V-Steam show. I know I certainly did. Remember to love yourself, be yourself, and let's make this world a more beautiful place. Until next time, I am Miss Congeniality.